Hello again, everyone. This is Chris Sherritt. That's Robert Harding.
You're back.
I'm back. Yes, the rumors
It
might
just hit me.
It's been 3 weeks. I want to thank Jonathan Monfiletto for filling in for me last week, and I want to thank Robert for having his favorite guest on himself the first week I was gone. I heard you did it solo.
I did it solo. Yeah. Because the week you were gone, that first break there, Jonathan, who's been our reliable number 3 man, was also gone. He was on his military duty, annual duty there, so I had no one to turn to.
Except yourself.
Except myself.
Of course. You were in reliable hands, obviously.
Yeah.
So
it was a quick show.
I'm sure it was. So I am back. I had 11 days off, okay, so I took a couple Fridays. So it was nice to be home with my family, and obviously it's great to be back here too with Robert discussing sports, one of our favorite topics.
That's right.
We won't talk the debate from last night though, right? We'll stay out of politics. Even though it did feel like a sporting event.
10 men.
We had winners and losers, no doubt about it. So,
for sure.
But we're not going to talk politics, we're going to talk sports. And we'll start off with Ronda Rousey, who beats another person I've never heard of and will never heard of again in 34 seconds.
Betch Correa.
And the thing is, if you're paying good money for these fights, man, I feel bad for you. Oh my God. You might as well just take the money and whip it right out the window, you know what I mean? And it's just give it to a homeless person. Give it to the Salvation Army. Donate it to anything that would help people, because really you're just throwing your money away. So. And that's it. We're done talking about Ronda Rousey.
Well, you're done.
No, I'm done. Go ahead, Robert. It's your turn. You know more about this stuff than I do.
It was, yes, it's short, but, the build to the fight, with Betch Correa, really trying to get into Rousey's head, kind of took a personal turn there because Rousey came out with this book, mentioned that her dad committed suicide. Correa made some sort of reference to that. I can't remember the exact phrasing of it, but it quickly took a personal turn. Of course, Correa before had beaten a couple of Rousey's close friends that are part of the Four Horsewomen. So,
4 Horsewomen.
That's right.
Wow.
So they went in, and Rousey came out firing. I mean, she meant business, and she really wanted to clean Betch's clock, and ended up doing so.
Would you want to make Ronda Rousey angry? I wouldn't.
No.
And we were talking about this in the newsroom. I don't know whether Robert was there when we discussed it, but I said, she's a middleweight, I believe.
Bantamweight.
Bantamweight. Okay. Now, could she move up to a higher weight class?
Not in UFC.
Okay.
Because UFC, at least for now, only has bantamweight and strawweight.
Okay, so she can't go any higher then.
Right.
This is it. And I was saying maybe she should take on men. I mean, I think she's pretty capable. She whooped my rear end, that's for sure. I think she basically whipped about 99% of the general male population. So maybe, I'm not trying to, I know it sounds something like a freak show, but I'm being serious about this because I think if you're a woman and you are at the highest level of your sport and no one's even coming close to touching you, then I think you need maybe to start competing against men. I mean, not like her same weight class possibly, but maybe a lower level. I don't know. I mean, because to me it's like no one can come close to touching her.
Yeah, I mean it's tough because you get into kind of societal.
Yeah,
but I mean it's.
I mean, is it okay to hit a woman? I mean,
right,
the whole, but.
But at the same time, I mean, I certainly get your point. She's so far ahead of everyone else. It's like who is there left? Who's left? Yeah. And there is still this possibility that she'll fight Cyborg, who's probably will be her biggest challenger yet.
Cyborg.
Yeah, Chris Cyborg.
Is this a woman or a man?
It is a woman.
It's a woman.
Yeah. She fights at a higher weight class though, so UFC has said we want to have the fight, but it's not going to be a catch weight fight.
Right.
They want Cyborg to lose weight to come down to the bantamweight level to fight Rousey. So it sounds like it will happen at some point. I mean, both sides seem to be willing to do it. UFC is willing to hold it, and Dana White, UFC president, of course, I was pretty confident that show would do pretty well in terms of buys. So, but in terms of Rousey, I think she's so far ahead. I mean, it's good and bad to a degree. I mean, it's bad in the present because you're like, okay, well, who's left? She fights Misha Tate next, who she's already beaten a couple times. Right. And so, but, it's good in the future in the sense that, here she is, the star in her sport, and she's only making more and more young women want to do it. So, eventually it'll pay off, her star power, but, in the present it is a challenge. Like, who do we find that can go toe-to-toe with her and really put on a show? I mean, it is kind of funny to see these fights end in 34 seconds, 14 seconds.
I can understand if she was undefeated, but at least if their bouts were going the distance. I don't even know how many rounds are in a women's mixed martial arts fight. 5? That's, I mean...
You would never know with Rousey.
That's what I mean. She don't even break a sweat.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to tip your cap, but she's an incredible talent. She obviously works out very hard and is very good at what she does. And I'm not trying to make jokes or anything. Believe me, I take this stuff very seriously. What she's doing is, I don't care what level it is unbelievable. And the thing is there something that can be done where it's a little more competitive because it's turning it into a joke, so to speak. So
yeah, maybe the answer is, to kind of piggyback on a point you raised, maybe you do need more weight classes. Yeah. Maybe they need to expand it that way because there are other women MMA fighters who don't who aren't in UFC who do fight at either higher weights or similar weights. So there's more to MMA than UFC, but it's all about getting in there and really finding the competition somehow. I mean, Rousey's not going to do this forever.
No.
So
nobody can.
Who's going to fill her spot eventually is also a question that they'll have to answer. So,
all right, we're going to talk NFL next, and as we get started here, first thing I want to mention: this is the first video we've done. The Dolphins are celebrating their 50th season, and they unveiled their throwback uniforms last week. And I got to admit, wow. I'm in love. I'm serious.
Placed your order yet?
I have not placed my order yet. I'm going to wait a little bit. I want to see if they're going to come out with any other players or anything else, or any other special jerseys. I'm in no rush, but they are amazing looking. I mean, the ones that the players are going to wear for the game against the Giants in December on a Monday night are stunning. I mean, I was a little disappointed at first because there was a leak of a replica jersey that had what we call the TV numbers, the little numbers that are on the shoulders. These numbers were on the shoulders, and the Dolphins' original 1966 jerseys had the TV numbers on the sleeves. So I was a little disappointed when I saw the replica. But when they came out with the actual jerseys the players are going to be wearing with the stripe on the side and the numbers on the shoulders, even then, I'm like, wow, those look incredible. Absolutely incredible. So I give all the credit in the world to the Dolphins, even though they made a modern version of the old jersey. They nailed it. It looks great, and a lot of Dolphin fans want this to be their permanent jersey. And now they can't do it for another couple of years because the NFL has a rule: you can't change your jersey radically. You can only do it after 5 years. You have to wait at least 5 years before you can change it. Well, I believe this is year number 4 for this jersey, for the one the Dolphins are wearing now. That means next year is the last year. I'll tell you, 2 more years, folks. That would be the one for me. All right, enough geek uniform talk. Robert's chuckling here. Although he kind of likes this stuff too, because we do talk jerseys now.
I like the jersey. Yeah. I will say that. Yeah, it's a good jersey.
It is. We're going to talk NFL Hall of Fame, which is on Sunday. No, tomorrow night is the induction ceremony, and Sunday is the game. The game. And as you might know if you watched this video, I was in Canton, Ohio. Hard to believe, a little over 3 months ago for a event with Dan Marino. And I'll tell you, the Hall of Fame, folks, if you ever get the chance, please go. It's a great place to spend some time. The Hall staff works really hard. Some great people there I had a chance to meet. But it's a beautiful facility. You can really learn about the history of football. And when you walk into the room where they have the bus, and the way the bus are, they're illuminated from underneath. So it's got this really cool effect. And you see these bus. I mean, it is an amazing experience. And if you're a football fan, you should really try to go. It's a good weekend trip. It's only about a 5.5 hour drive from Auburn to Canton, Ohio. And I highly recommend it for a good weekend trip, especially during the fall. I think when it's going to be a little less crazy with the number of tourists there. and you can really take your time and go through it. It's a great facility. As for the Hall of Famers, we were just talking before we got started. I'm like, well, who's going in besides Junior Seau? But Robert, of course, reminded me that Bill Polian's going in, who was the architect of the Bills and the Colts and the 49ers teams that all went to Super Bowls. We got Jerome Bettis. I have a lot of friends that are Steelers fans. I'm sure they're pretty excited about that. Tim Brown, great Raider, great wide receiver, and a Heisman Trophy winner, although he should have lost it to Don McPherson back in '87. I can't forget about that one. Just Mike Tingelhoff, I believe, a Vikings offensive lineman
I think you're right,
of the '60s. Great guy, great, if you know the Vikings, Fran Tarkenton, Chuck Foreman, those guys. So it's a good class, and I'll be working it tomorrow night, but I most likely will watch some of the induction ceremonies. I think it's a great event, great to watch. Robert was there last year, and he can talk a little bit about his experience. It's a very special thing to watch, isn't it?
No, yeah, it's a great event, and I was there for Andre Reed, who actually spoke before Strahan last year, Michael Strahan, and Strahan closed out the ceremony. So it was a long wait, but these guys, they've waited a long time for this, and in some cases, some of the, a couple of the guys last year had played in the '60s. Or early '70s, so you're talking a long wait after retiring from the NFL. But the experience, like you said, I mean, from Auburn, a 5-hour drive. For me, it was nice because being a Fredonia alum, stopped there for the first time since I graduated, which was a cool experience just to see the town. If you're driving through there's a good place, Wing City Grill, serve
Plug. Go ahead.
Chicken wings galore, any sauce you want. Any way you want to make them, great place to go. You should go there.
You get me hungry for wings now.
Yeah. But it was. I'm with you. I think the ideal time to go would be kind of away from the ceremony, just so you can kind of take in the hall a little more. We saw a bunch of things, including the bus, of course, but. And the cool thing about that was that NFL Network was doing their pre-ceremony show right in there. So, Michael Irvin, Deion Sanders, those guys were in there. Pretty cool. But, it's a great trip. It's certainly worthwhile, and the ceremony is, the ceremony. It's, seeing these guys speak, they're pretty passionate about it. And
you were in the same room with Deion Sanders and Michael Irvin?
Yeah.
Nobody suffocated? You guys, I thought you guys would have taken all the oxygen out of the room. All right, I'm just
wow.
Just kidding, folks.
It was cool, though.
It was.
Kurt Warner was actually... right around the corner from us doing like a VIP signing, so got some pictures of him. But it's a good experience, and it's not far away. And if you're any Bills, Jets, Giants, any football fan, certainly make the trip. It's worthwhile.
Again, I can't say enough about the Hall of Fame staff, and they do a great job. Everybody there, a lot of volunteers from the community that are walking around. If you need help with anything, they help you out. Like I said, the staff people, Michelle Norris, who I dealt with at the Hall of Fame in April, such a nice person, did a great job with everything that we went to there, with that Marino event, and just I can't say enough about the people there. They do a great job. It's an excellent facility, and it's a highly recommended place to visit if you get the chance. One last topic. Well, I guess we're going to make this quick. That's NASCAR. Wow. Jonathan's not here. Sorry, Jonathan. But there is a NASCAR race in our area. This is the one closest to Auburn. It's in Watkins Glen. It's a road course, so it's not like you're going to watch these guys go around a circle making left-hand turns for a few hours. I guess you do need a little skill to be able to drive.
A little bit.
No, you need skills to drive a NASCAR. I don't care if it's a circle. You need some skills. So, jokes aside, the road course is a challenge. I guess a lot's being made. Jeff Gordon, this is his last time around. He's won that race a couple times. And, of course, Regan Smith, who is a native of Cato, New York, which is about 40 miles north of here, he'll be competing in the Xfinity Series race tomorrow. We wish him well. So if you're a NASCAR fan and you live around here, I guess maybe you're going to be making your plans to head out to that area.
Jonathan's dad's down there.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Here,
yeah.
So,
I actually will watch some of the race. I will state this on the record. I will watch some of the NASCAR race on Sunday.
It's on video, so it's legally binding.
Yeah, I'm going to watch some of it.
All right.
And the only other NASCAR race I really watch is Daytona. And that's about it.
Yeah, Watkins Glen is. I've never been, but it's a fun, wonderful watch, and it's wide open. That's the nice thing. I mean, you see some teams that usually wouldn't win, if it's an oval. They might not be in competition, but when it comes to road courses, the drivers tend to be, experts at this. So, they give their teams a chance to win, and, makes it wide open, fun to watch.
Should be fun. So, and speaking of fun, we're done. No, we are done. But we had fun, didn't we? Yeah, I think it was fun. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
It's getting back in the groove of things. So, well, folks, now that NFL training camps are full in session and exhibition season starts on Sunday, I guess we'll be talking a little more NFL. I know that's a very popular topic.
Got to get out to Bill's training camp soon.
That usually gets our views up, which is always good. Yeah, you should. Actually, that's where John went today. John D'Angelo.
Very good.
My stepdad went to Bill's camp today out in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
So he's enjoying that. So, and we appreciate you watching our video. We really do. And we hope that you enjoy it. And if you do, please, again, share the links. And we will see you next week. Until then, have a great weekend.